Welcome to another Aikido Shuli video. My name is Rokas. Recently I did a video about the ability to stop, and obviously that question is also important for you as Aikido practitioners, how to practice it in Aikido and how to express it through the body. Because if you're able to express it in the movement of the body in a physical practice, then it becomes really clear what means to stop, what happens when you stop, what doesn't happen when you stop. You really become conscious at how it works. So I'm going to show you a few examples of how you can practice it on the mat so you could later practice it off the mat. When you start the practice, you can already start practicing the ability to stop when you bow. Oftentimes when we bow to a partner, we tend to skip it through as a mandatory practice that we don't really care about. But actually, the bow can be a very important part of your practice where you try to embody a certain quality, now the quality or the ability of stopping. So before we bow, actually allow yourself to settle in your body, to settle in your mind, to stop for a moment, and only when you recognize that your inner flow has dropped, there's a sense of calmness, a sense of no movement, then you bow with your partner, maintaining that quality. So when you do a technique, before you start, if it's not a randori, if it's not a kinonagara practice, not a flowing practice, before you start, again, don't rush. There's even a phrase for that in Aikido called zanshin, which is similar to what I'm talking about, that meditative moment. So before you start, actually allow yourself to stop, feel the partner, allow yourself to stop, to settle in, and only then do the technique. And when you do the technique again, pause, break. Don't disconnect, don't become passive, but rather allow your inner movement to stop. Same with any technique. If I'm doing an Ikkyo, oftentimes I finish the technique, I stand up and I go back. And there's no stopping, we're always in a rush. That's something we do all the time in our life. That's a very bad habit. That's an unhealthy, dangerous habit. But actually, when you finish the technique, allow yourself to stop. Don't disconnect, don't wait for the end, but just simply stop, feel, and then we stand up. So don't get into the habit of do a technique, finish a technique, come back, do a technique. We have way too much of that in our lives already. If you want to practice and achieve the ability to stop before you start. And at the end, when you do the technique, again, stop. So these are some of the basics where you can apply in every moment. Sometimes the partner will not always go with you there, so you're going to have to stop the partner too. And we'll look at that from a different exercise as well. As a specific practice, it has a martial arts aspect, but it's not completely a self-defense exercise. It's a mix between both, and it's a specific exercise to actually develop your skills of stopping. So I'll ask my partner to do some basic skis, some basic punches. So he punches me, I step out of the center line, I step out of the place where it's dangerous. I touch him, and we make a communal agreement that as long as I'm touching him, that's where it's an exercise. As long as I'm touching him, he's not going to attack again. So as soon as I will release, that's a sign he can strike again. So I move out, I'm touching him, he's not attacking. I release, he punches, I touch. So now here, when I'm touching, that's the signal he's not allowed to attack right now. I use this chance to stop. I stop, relax, allow my inner flow to slow down. And when I feel that it happened, I feel I tapped into that ability, I release and I'm ready for the next strike. I move out, I'm touching him, I stop. I feel I stopped, I release, and he punches again. And again, that moment of the communal practice of us, if I'm touching him, I'm stopping, and he forgets. He's impatient, he doesn't want to wait. If he wants to attack, then I stop him here. I'm saying, wait. Now we're stopping. I'm not being a passive stopper. I include him in my stopping. If I'm just stopping with no connection, just in myself, in my mind, and he attacks again, then whoa, I'm not ready. But if I'm here with him and he wants to attack, no, I stop him. I say, it's not the time. Now we've stopped. And then when I'm ready, I give the chance, he strikes again. So this is the first step, first practice. It can evolve, it can become more, it can become bigger. So when you develop well in this, then we develop the skills to do it faster. So my partner does its ski, traditional ski. I touch, I stop, I include him, and after a brief moment, I let go. Again, I stop, bam, go. Stop, up, and there, I'm stopping him. I released, stop, I release, stop. If he rushes, I stop him here. But so now the breaks are much shorter, but you still have to fully go into the stopping. If you don't have the ability to stop so fast, to slow down inside of yourself so quickly, then it means you're not ready for the exercise. But if you want to develop the skill further, to bring it off the mat, we pick up the pace. Why it's great, why it's very special, it's because in our lives, not always we will have a chance to sit down for a nice coffee and relax. Sometimes things will be very hectic and things will run around, and still you have to make those short breaks. Even if it's just 5 seconds, you slow down and you continue, but then you're refreshed. You can maintain a rhythm. If you don't make those short, quick stops, short, quick breaks, you will lose it. And the same in this exercise. So we'll show a contrary example. So if he's attacking me and I didn't really stop, I just kind of paused and there's no stopping. So I didn't stop and then I released him so he can attack, and I didn't stop, and then it overwhelms me. He starts to dictate the pace. And that's oftentimes how we feel in our lives too. That our lives, our situation, our boss, our wife, our partners, our circumstances are dictating the rhythm, the situation, and then we run out of gas. But if we adapt to the situation, but we maintain a rhythm, the breaks, the pauses, they create the rhythm. It said that the silent moments in the music creates the beauty of the song. If there's no breaks in the song, if there's no pauses, there's no song. The same is here. So even if it's a short break, bam, bam, there's a rhythm now, which I can tap into it. Then I present the rhythm, I present the situation. So we'll show once more. Bam, stop, stop. And if he rushes, I stop him. I am there, I'm present. And the last moment, if you want to even further the training, you don't have to limit yourself to basic skis. It can be Chudan ski, it can be Jodan ski, it could be also other attacks, depends on your level. So we'll do a slow version, but we'll show what's possible. So let's say, first of all, we decide that he can punch not only to the Chudan level, but also to the Jodan level, to the head. So if he punches to the head, bam, it's the same exercise. Bam. And then he can punch to the core as well. Bam. To the head. Now there's a moment of unpredictability, so I'll have to stop even more. He can punch me either to the core or either to the head. Bam. But the exercise becomes the same. And if I stop, I should be able to manage to maintain the rhythm still. And the last step, it can become any attack, and but it stays safe because we have a rhythm together, and I make sure that the rhythm is followed. So it can be any attack. Stop. 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 So we could go a lot further from here, but I'm sure you see what we're trying to show you. All in all, coming back to the basics, if you won't practice it, it won't happen naturally. Stopping these days is not a common quality in our lives. So you have to make sure you practice it, and one of the best ways is to do it on the mat. You train 2, 3, 5 times per week, then include this in your training, and you will become much better at doing this off the mat too. All in all, thank you for my uke and also the camera person. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. Check the video where we talk in depth about this topic, more on the theoretical level. Next week, we're going to look at the ability of receiving. That's going to be our next quality. I'll make a theoretical video and also a practical video. But as always, I'm happy to be here with you and looking forward to hear what you think, what's your experience. And as always, I'll see you on the virtual mat again soon.